How's it going, everyone? Thanks for clicking on this video. We got a really cool topic that I think is pretty neat, and what we're actually going to talk about is a new weight loss drug that is having some pretty promising results for individuals who are overweight or even obese. So without further ado, let's get right into the video. So I will say the term new is loose, because this drug has actually been used before to help treat individuals that have diabetes. So the drug itself is actually called semaglutide, and it's basically an appetite regulating drug that kind of mimics a hormone that helps with appetite regulation. So essentially the suppression of your appetite. So when this is used with individuals with diabetes, it's kind of used at a lower dose. In this study, they decided to up the dose to 2.4 milligrams. And basically what they did is they injected it subcutaneously, which means under the skin, similar to kind of what a insulin shot injection would be like for individuals with diabetes. So the trial itself actually contained 1,961 participants, all adults, and this actually spanned across 16 different countries, including Asia, Europe, and North and South America. So a very wide cohort of individuals, which I really like. I think that gives a good perspective on different ethnic backgrounds and different cultures, because one thing that we do know with looking at demographics is that certain countries do have kind of different metabolic adaptations. Some ethnic backgrounds store more body fat than others. Some find it a little easier to lose. So I think that's really important to kind of have a wide range of backgrounds. As I mentioned, individuals took 2.4 milligrams of this subcutaneously weekly, and this actually went for 68 weeks. And in addition to this, every 4 weeks, so basically once a month, individuals had a counseling session to kind of go over their habits, their new diet, their likely increased physical activity habits, just to make sure they're on track and kind of having a way to cope through things and talk with a professional about how to make the best out of this current situation. Because as we know, dieting is very hard, especially if you're overweight or obese. If it was easy to diet, nobody would be overweight or obese. So that's simply how it is. So I like that they kind of have both the drug in there, but a little bit of behavioral change aspect to kind of prompt them and hopefully get them to adhere a little bit better to the diet. When it comes to completion, about 94% of the individuals completed the 68-week study, which is actually really good. So very low dropout rate. And I think the only reason why anyone dropped out at all, it did say that some individuals had some moderate nausea and vomiting due to the higher doses of this drug. With the lower doses, we don't really see this. So that's kind of where they're finding that good balance between just enough to get results, but not too much where it's going to make you sick. And when it comes to results, 75% of the individuals who received this lost more than 10% of their body weight. In addition to that, more than 33% lost 20% of their body weight. So those are pretty good numbers. When it comes to kind of data on this stuff, we know that just a 10% reduction in your weight if you are obese can significantly improve health markers, which this study also notes too. So the average participant lost 15.3 kilograms or 33.6 pounds compared to the placebo counterpart. Reduction in waist circumference, which makes sense. If you're going to lose overall fat on your body, you're likely going to lose a little bit off your waist. Decreased blood markers, so blood cholesterol improved, blood pressure improved and blood sugar improved. So that's really awesome. The placebo group lost only 2.6 kilograms or 5.72 pounds. So as we can see, the placebo group still lost weight, but not nearly as much as this group taking the drugs. So you would assume that appetite regulation would actually help tremendously. If we're talking 3 times the amount of body weight loss, that's a really, really significant number. So overall, really good results with that drug. And I think it's promising. So when it comes to kind of my thoughts on this, I do like that they have the behavioral counseling aspect of it, as I mentioned. It would kind of be interesting to see what kind of physical activity they were involved in. It wasn't really specific in kind of what they were doing, or even if they were doing physical activity. It mentioned in the counseling that they were trying to get them to do it, but I think that's a really important part, because for a lot of people, maintaining consistent weight loss, you do need to be physically active, consistent to kind of, I'm not saying help with the calories, but if you go overboard on calories, some of that calorie is going to be used for muscle, fueling your workouts, etc. A lot of people who stay lean through their entire life do work out consistently. There are anomalies, of course, but there's anomalies for everything. So in addition to that, there was no mention of the food log. So I was curious of how drastic the deficits were, because losing 33 pounds in the normal weight loss group is a pretty significant amount. I wouldn't say kind of abnormal if you're obese to lose that much in 68 weeks. It's actually a fairly realistic and decent goal if we're talking 10% of your body weight. It's just, I'm wondering how sustainable this is for them, because if they're drastically cutting their calories, they might hit a wall where their metabolism kind of just spikes and just stalls at one point. So then where do you go from there? Do you up the dose of drugs? Do you increase physical activity? If it's not something that they can adhere to for a long time, they might rebound and gain all this weight. So I was really curious kind of what they were eating, how much they were eating more so specifically, and it didn't really say that much on it. So I know it said that they were giving them kind of their new quote unquote diet plan, but I don't know if that was just telling them like, hey, eat healthier, hey, eat less, or if there were specific calorie goals that they were trying to reach. Because as we know, calories are king when it comes to weight loss, and if you don't eat less than your body burns, regardless if it's healthy or not, it doesn't really matter. So that's kind of the major thoughts I had on it. Overall, I think it's a really promising drug. I do like it, potentially a little bit better than weight loss surgery, because weight loss surgery for some might be a little too invasive. The drug is kind of a one-stop thing, so you can try it. If it doesn't work, then you can, go back to whatever you were doing. Weight loss surgery is a really, really serious decision, and not one that should be taken lightly. I think regardless, looking at the root of the issue and why the individual got to this kind of obese and overweight state to begin with should be the forefront of concern, and then using that to kind of help steer them in the right direction. In addition to this appetite regulation drug would be a good first step. So I think it's cool. Let me know what you think below in the comments, and we'll catch you in that next video. Thanks for watching. Bye.